Hi, my name is Jim Foster from Rosilla Reviews, and today we're going to talk about Junkyard King from Gamesicle. So the game starts off with 5 cards being dealt to each player face down. You do not get to look at the cards. That's part of the fun. So you have no idea what you have, and at the beginning of your turn, you get to flip 2 of them over. So we're going to flip these 2 over. We got a $500 Petacar and a $25 toaster. Now the objective of the game is to get your Junkyard row to be the highest value that you possibly can. Everyone gets at least 1 turn to go around, and at that point the game just keeps going around until somebody says end of month. At that time, whoever says end of month, they finish off their last turn. Everyone else gets 1 more turn. Then you flip up all the cards and you count up the total to see how much you get for that round. Now whoever gets to $10,000 first wins the game. So to start off, let's say it's my turn. I've already flipped over my 2 cards, and so now it's time for me to play. And I get to choice. I have no cards in my hand. I can either pick up from the discard pile, or I can draw a card from the draw pile. Since this is a $25 trophy, which is not very much, I probably don't want to pick it up. So instead I'm going to go ahead and draw. And what I get is a $100 ray gun. So now I have a choice. I can either upgrade the junk that is currently visible for me, or I can take a risk. I can take a chance and try to upgrade one of my downward facing cards. Since this is $100 and I have $25 showing, yeah, you know what? I'm going to throw away the toaster. So it's my turn again, and I'm going to draw, and I get a $25 cat art. You know what, for $25, I'm not going to take a risk on my downward facing cards, and I certainly am not going to replace the junk that's currently visible, so I'm just going to throw it away. It's my turn again, and hey, you know what, I got $500. For 500 bucks, I could upgrade my $100 ray gun, but I'm going to go ahead and take a chance. Now, the maximum junk is $1,000. The second most is $500, so $500 not too bad. So I'm going to pick this guy. So I flip this down and I throw this into the discard pile. Now unfortunately here I made the wrong choice. I basically put down $500 and I threw away $1,000 television. But I didn't know that just because it was face down and I didn't know what it was. So the next player obviously is probably going to pick up the $1,000 television and put it in their hands. Let's say it's my turn again, and I have an action card. Now, when I'm picking up cards from the discard pile, I can pick up anything but action cards. So if someone plays an action card and it's in the discard pile, I don't get to pick it up. Now, this particular action card that I just drew says Spy Inventory. After discard, choose a player. Peek at their face-down cards. Now, in our test group, you can pick anybody, but in our test group, we typically picked ourselves, which the rules indicate that's fine. And the reason why that made a lot of sense to all of us is because we want to know what our values of our downward facing cards are, so then we know whether we want to replace them or not. We don't have to take a risk. So I'm going to go ahead and peek, and no one else gets to see but me. Okay. So it's my turn again, and this is one of the most important action cards. It's the tax man. So Uncle Sam, he wants his cut of the share too. So when you draw this action card, you can give it to anybody. And when you assign that person, when you pick that person that you want to give it to, you give them this card. Now at the end of the game, at the end of the round, when you flip up all the cards and count up your points, it subtracts $500 that goes to Uncle Sam. Makes it a little bit harder to get to the 10,000 to win. So at the end of the month, when everyone has played, we go ahead and flip up all of our cards to count our money. Now as you can see, there's different colors here, and that definitely comes in towards the game. So basically, your blues are collectibles. Your greens, which we haven't seen yet, is a household item. Yellows are tools, and reds are automotive. And the reason why this comes into play is there's a player prompt card here for everyone to help remember. 3 of a kind, if you have 3 of a kind, for example, 3 reds here, you get $200. If you have 4 of a kind, you get $500. 5 of a kind, you get $1,000. So what this means is sometimes, let's say you have let's throw out a 50 here. So let's say I'm playing, let's say these other ones are face down and I draw a 25 here. So even though, let's say I've peeked, I know what my cards are, you know what? I might go ahead and replace this 50 for a 25, even though it's less money. And the reason why is if I know what my cards are, because I've either replaced my downward facing ones or I've gotten a peek at the spy inventory, I know that, you know what, I can get 3 of a kind and get a bonus of $200. So sometimes when you're playing into the strategy, you're also paying attention to colors just to try to help boost your score there as well. Some of the other action cards, let's put these back down. Some of the other action cards is, you saw Spy Inventory, another one is Balance the Books. So unlike Spy Inventory, which you look at and you put back down so only you know what they are, Balance the Books, you can pick anybody and their downward facing cards come up visible to everybody. Once again, in our test play group, chances are usually the person would pick themselves. That way they would know what their own value is and they could immediately start upgrading it. There's also Silent Auction, and with Silent Auction, you basically can choose left or right, and everyone has to take one of their cards and they have to pass it in that direction. You got Trash or Treasure. This allows you to pick one of your cards and replace it with somebody else's. So in this case, I'd probably take my 25 and try to, you know, get a 500 or 1,000 from somebody. And then, of course, there's Bargain Hunter. Basically, Bargain Hunter allows you to look at the top 2 cards, discard one of them, and then play the other one. So this game gets a premium accolade. Our test group enjoyed playing it a lot. And a large part of that has to do with the risk factor, where you don't know what your cards are face down, unless you've got a action card that allows you to peek at them. And so every time you get a card that seems like it's a pretty decently sized, whether it's 250 or 500, and you're taking a risk that it's worth more than what you're replacing it for down here below. And it reminded us of the reality show where people are making bids on a storage shed, trying to win an auction for it. And those people are not able to go into those storage sheds. They can only kind of peek around and kind of look around and make a guess on whether there's something in there valuable or not. And sometimes, as they're digging through, they find out it's truly is trash through and through, and they made a horrible, horrible buy. Sometimes, though, as they were digging through the trash, they find something that is extremely valuable, and it was totally worth their time. So there is a little bit of that risk factor there. This game is easy to play, and it's easy to explain to other people, and yeah, it's fun to play again and again. So with that, big thumbs up, premium accolade.